My name is Bryn Adams. I live in an old wooden house, far from the noisy town, where the forest breathes darkness at night. The house creaks with every breeze, and silence feels heavier than words. People in town avoid me. They whisper about me, call me a murderer behind my back, and leave me to my loneliness. Every morning, I write letters to my dead best friend, Maud, as if she could still read them. It's my only way of staying sane. The guilt of what happened years ago, her death, my mistake, chains me to this solitude. But one night, something far more terrifying than my guilt visited my home. Part 2, the first encounter. It began with a faint tapping at my window. At first, I thought it was the branches scraping against the glass. But then I heard footsteps. Slow, heavy, not human. I crept downstairs, holding my breath. The living room was bathed in moonlight, and that's when I saw it. A tall, thin figure stood in the corner, its limbs stretched unnaturally, its head too large, and its eyes glowing like two spheres of silver. My chest tightened. My legs froze. It tilted its head, observing me like prey. I grabbed the nearest vase and smashed it on the floor. The alien moved fast, its long fingers reaching toward me, making guttural clicking sounds. I dashed into the kitchen, seized a knife, and stabbed. The blade sank into its chest, but instead of blood, a glowing liquid oozed out. The alien collapsed, but I knew this was only the beginning. Part 3, the town secret. The next day, I tried to seek help. I drove into town, but something was wrong. The people didn't look at me with hatred anymore. They didn't gossip or glare. They smiled, too wide, too empty. Their eyes shimmered with the same silver glow I had seen in the alien's eyes. In the church, dozens of people sat in silence, staring blankly at the altar. When I entered, their heads turned in unison toward me. My blood ran cold. They weren't people anymore. They were hosts, controlled. I ran. Part 4, the hunt. That night, the aliens came back for me. The walls of my house vibrated with their humming frequency. My lights flickered, my furniture rattled, and shadows danced against the walls. Their long fingers scratched the glass, tapping like skeletal drums. Inside my mind, I heard voices. You cannot resist. You belong to us. Their telepathy was suffocating, crawling inside my memories. They saw my childhood. They saw Maud's death, the fight, the push, the accident. They replayed my guilt like a broken film reel. Tears burned my eyes. I screamed, clutching my head. But the aliens didn't kill me. They studied me. They chose me. Part 5, the truth of my past. As their psychic grip tightened, visions swallowed me. I was back in my childhood bedroom. I saw myself laughing with Maud, building crafts, dancing in the yard. Then the memory shifted, the fight, the shove, her fall. The silence after her body hit the ground. That was my sin, my curse. The reason the town hated me. The aliens fed on it. They dug deeper into my pain, but something strange happened. Instead of destroying me, they accepted me. I realized why. I was already broken, already rejected by humans. To them, I was the perfect vessel. Part 6, the mothership. One night, the forest lit up with a blinding beam of light. I followed it, trembling, until I saw it, an enormous alien mothership hovering above the trees. Its surface shimmered like liquid metal, alive, breathing. Below it, townspeople lined up, walking calmly into the glow. Their faces were serene, their movements mechanical. They were surrendering willingly. I grabbed a flare gun, heart pounding. If I was going to die, I would fight. I fired. The flare burst in crimson fire, burning through the night sky. Several aliens shrieked, their bodies convulsing. But more came. Dozens. Hundreds. They pulled me into the circle. Part 7, the final choice. One alien approached me, taller than the rest. Its fingers pressed against my forehead. In an instant, my life replayed before my eyes. My guilt, my isolation, my endless letters to Maud. Except, the voice whispered in my mind. For a moment, I wanted it. The pain, the loneliness, it could all vanish if I surrendered. But something inside me snapped. No, I screamed. You will not own me. I fought, thrashing, pushing back with every ounce of rage I had carried all my life. The mothership quaked, the light fractured, and the aliens shrieked. And then silence. Part 8, A New World. I woke up in my bed. The morning sun poured through the curtains. When I stepped outside, the town looked alive again. Children played, shopkeepers smiled, neighbors waved. But their smiles weren't real. Their eyes still glowed faintly. They weren't free. They were something else now. Something alien. And me? I was smiling too. My guilt was gone. My loneliness was gone. Every shadow in the room seemed alive. The clock ticked louder. The wind rattled my window harder. But it wasn't the wind. At midnight, whispers filled my head. They weren't my thoughts. They belonged to them. You are one of us. Join us. Surrender. I pressed my palms to my ears, crying, "Get out. Leave me alone." The whispers grew louder. My body trembled. My vision blurred. For a moment, I thought I saw Maud, my dead friend, standing in my room. She looked alive, smiling softly, but her eyes glowed silver.
"Bryn," she said.
"I forgive you." My heart ached. I wanted to run to her, hug her, but deep down I knew it wasn't Maud. It was them. The aliens were using my guilt as their weapon. Part 10, The Puppet Town. The next morning, I wandered into town again, desperate to see if anyone was still human. At the bakery, Mrs. Collins stood behind the counter, humming an old tune. She handed me bread with a wide smile. "Good morning, Bryn." Her voice was normal, but her eyes silver.